Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kiran Bendigeri from Grafosyss IAS. In this video, let's have a look at 7th Standard Science 8th Chapter Winds, Storms and Cyclones. Orissa was hit by a cyclone with wind speed of 200 km per hour on 18th October 1999. The cyclone smashed 45,000 houses, making 7 lakh people homeless. On 29th October the same year, a second cyclone with wind speed of 260 km per hour hit Orissa again. It was accompanied by water waves about 9 meters high. Thousands of people lost their lives. Property worth crores of rupees was destroyed. The cyclone affected agriculture, transport, communication and electricity supply. So this is the scene about Orissa, which happened in October 1999. So many people, thousands of people died, and many people lost their house, and their life was affected because of cyclone. The moving air is called wind, right? The moving air is called wind. Air exerts pressure. You need to boil water in the following activity. Take a tin can with a lid. Fill it approximately half with water. Heat the can on a candle flame till the water boils. Let the water boil for a few minutes. Blow out the candle. Immediately put the lid tightly on the can. Be careful in handling the hot can. Put the can carefully in a shallow metallic vessel or a wash basin. Pour fresh water over the can. What happens to the shape of the can? So this is the activity which you can do, but with care. So it is a practical example to know how the air exerts pressure and all, right? When we boil the water, the liquid water is converted into water vapor, and how the pressure is developed in the can, and what happens if we immediately cool it, and all. So these are the things you can observe in this activity. High speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure. So this is the thing which we have observed, but we may not know totally why it happens. High speed winds with reduced air pressure. Why? Let's see about it. The increased wind speed is indeed accompanied by a reduced air pressure. Can you imagine what would happen if high speed winds blew over the roofs of buildings? If the roofs were weak, they could be lifted and blown away. If you have any such experience, share it with your friends. So you might have seen that when there is a cyclone or high velocity wind flowing through some buildings which are covered with sheets and all, you might have observed that sheets are removed and blown away. It happens because when there is high speed of winds, there will be low pressure, and inside that building there will be high pressure. So there will be the pressure difference, due to which the ceiling will be removed. The ceiling or the sheet which is covered over those buildings will be removed. You already know that when air moves, it is called wind. Air moves from the region where the air pressure is high to the region where the pressure is low. The greater the difference in pressure, the faster the air moves. But how are the pressure differences created in nature? Is the difference in temperature involved? The following activities will help you to understand this. So air moves when there is difference in pressure, right? And this pressure may be caused due to different factors like temperature and all, right? Air expands on heating. What makes the balloon inflated when the boiling tube is placed in hot water? Why is the same balloon deflated when the tube is kept in cold water? So you may know that air expands with respect to increase in temperature, and air compresses with respect to decrease in temperature, right? Wind currents are generated due to uneven heating on the earth. These situations are uh, on every part of the earth won't receive a even heating, right? Uneven heating between the equator and the poles. We have read about this in geography. So there will be uneven heating. You might have learnt in geography that regions close to the equator get maximum heat from the sun. The air in these regions get warm. The warm air rises and cooler air from the regions in the 0 to 30 degrees latitude belt on either side of the equator moves in. These winds blow from the north and the south towards the equator. At the poles, the air is colder than that at latitudes about 60 degrees. The warm air at these latitudes rise up and the cold wind from the polar regions rushes in to take its place. In this way, wind circulation is set up from the poles to the warmer latitudes. So you have read about convection thing in this science book itself. So the same thing is happening in real on earth, right? Hot air moves up and cooler air moves down. Uneven heating of land and water. In summer near the equator, the land warms up faster, and most of the time the temperature of the land is higher than that of water in the oceans. The air over the land gets heated and rises. This causes the winds to flow from the ocean towards the land. These are monsoon winds. So what happens? Land usually warms up faster, but water won't heats up faster, or it won't cools down faster, right? So understand these things. Land, it warms up and cools down faster, but not the water. So when the air over the land gets heated and rises, the wind from the ocean moves toward the land. The word monsoon is derived from the Arabic word mausam, which means season, right? So these are monsoon winds, in which the winds flow from the ocean towards the land. Remember it. So this is monsoon winds. In winter, the direction of the wind flow gets reversed. It flows from the land to the ocean, right? The wind flow pattern because of uneven heating on the earth. So this is the thing which we have read about. Earth rotates from west to east, and wind moves in opposite direction near the equator, right? The winds would have flown in the north-south direction from the north to south, or from south to north. A change in direction is, however, caused by the rotation of the earth. The same thing which I just explained. The winds from the oceans carry water and bring rain. It is a part of the water cycle. The monsoon winds carry water and it rains. The wind which blows from ocean to land brings moisture or water, and it rains. Clouds bring rain and give us happiness. Farmers in our country depend mainly on rains for their harvests. There are many folk songs associated with clouds and rain. Sing and enjoy with your friends. If you know such a song, here is one for you. There is one song in the book that I have skipped. Right. Let's study two such situations: thunderstorms and cyclones. Uneven heating of land, especially the Rajasthan desert, generates monsoon winds from southwest direction in summer. Southwest. You can visualize Kerala, that is at the southwest. Kerala and Lakshadweep, those are at southwest, right? These winds carry lots of water from the Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean is at the south of India. Uneven heating of land and water in winter generate winds from the northwest colder land. These colder winds carry little water, hence bring small amount of rain in winter. So northwest, the winds from northwest carry little water, so they bring small amount of rain. Thunderstorms and cyclones. Thunderstorms develop in hot, humid, tropical areas like India very frequently. So remember, thunderstorms, hot, humid, tropical areas. The rising temperatures produce strong upward rising winds. These winds carry water droplets upwards, where they freeze and fall down again. The swift movement of the falling water droplets along with the rising air create lightning and sound. It is this event that we call a thunderstorm. So the swift movement of falling water drops with the rising air create lightning and sound. So this thing is called thunderstorm. And we know that as the wind carry water droplets, and when it moves upwards, the temperature decreases. If a storm is accompanied by lightning, we must take the following precautions. Do not take shelter under an isolated tree. If you are in a forest, take shelter under a small tree. Do not lie on the ground. Do not take shelter under an umbrella with a metallic end. Do not sit near a window. Open garages, storage sheds, metal sheds are not safe places to take shelter. A car or a bus is a safe place to take shelter. So remember this thing. Be in a car or bus. If you are in water, get out and go inside a building. So buildings and vehicles are the safest place during lightning. How a thunderstorm becomes a cyclone. You know that water requires heat when it changes from liquid to vapor state. Structure of a cyclone. The center of a cyclone is a calm area. It is called the eye of the storm. A large cyclone is a violently rotating mass of air in the atmosphere. So we can see here, this is the so let me take this this one. This is the eye, the middle part, center part is called the eye of the cyclone, right? A large cyclone is a violently rotating mass of air in the atmosphere, 10 to 15 kilometer high. The diameter of the eye varies from 10 to 30 kilometer, right? 10 to this diameter will be 10 to 30 kilometers. It is a region free of clouds and has light winds. Around this calm and clear eye, there is a cloud region of about 150 kilometer in size. So this is approximately 150 kilometers. In this region, there are high speed winds 150 to 250 km per hour and thick clouds with heavy rain. Away from this region, the wind speed gradually decreases. The formation of a cyclone is a very complex process. Before cloud formation, water takes up heat from the atmosphere to change into vapor. When water vapor changes back to liquid form as raindrops, this heat is released to the atmosphere. The heat released to the atmosphere warms the air around. The air tends to rise and causes a drop in pressure. More air rushes to the center of the storm. This cycle is repeated. So these things happen. Water is converted into water vapor, and water vapor changes back to raindrops, and the heat is released to the atmosphere, and the heat released it warms the air around, and air tends to rise and cause a drop in pressure, and again the cycle is repeated. The chain of events end with the formation of a very low pressure system with very high speed winds revolving around it. So remember, cyclone, very high speed winds and low pressure system. It is this weather condition that we call a cyclone. Factors like wind speed, wind direction, temperature and humidity contribute to the development of cyclones. Right, the image of the eye of a cyclone. So this is the same thing which I just mentioned. Formation of a cyclone. So this is the outflow, sinking air. This is how the cyclone is formed. Rising water caused by a cyclone. Destruction caused by cyclones. Cyclones can be very destructive. Strong winds push water towards the shore even if the storm is hundreds of kilometers away. These are the first indications of an approaching cyclone. The water waves produced by the wind are so powerful that a person cannot overcome them. So the first indication is strong winds push water towards the shore. So remember this, during the cyclone time, the strong winds pushes water towards the shore. So it is advisable at that time not to enter the ocean or sea. The low pressure in the eye lifts water surface in the center. So due to the low pressure, it lifts the water. It is like sucking the water. The rising water may be as high as 3 to 12 meters. It appears like a water wall moving towards the shore. As a result, the sea water enters the low-lying coastal areas, causing several loss of life and property. It also reduces the fertility of the soil. because it brings lot of salty water to the land. That's why it reduces the fertility of the soil. Continuous heavy rainfall may further worsen the flood situation. High-speed winds accompanying a cyclone can damage houses, telephones, and other communication systems, trees, etc., causing tremendous loss of life and property. So these cause much destruction and all. A cyclone is known by different names in different parts of the world. It is called a hurricane in the American continent. In Philippines and Japan, it is called a typhoon. So remember, in America, hurricane; Philippines and Japan, typhoon. The diameter of a tornado can be as small as a meter and as large as a kilometer, or even wider. The funnel of a tornado sucks dust, debris, and everything near it at the base and throws them out near the top. It is same like cyclone. So this is the tornado, right? So this tornado is a smaller one compared to cyclone. Tornadoes in our country, they are not very frequent. A tornado is a dark funnel shaped cloud that reaches from the sky to the ground. Most of the tornadoes are weak. A violent tornado can travel at speeds of about 300 km per hour. Tornadoes may form within cyclones. The whole coastline of India is vulnerable to cyclones, particularly the east coast. The west coast of India is less vulnerable to cyclone storms, but both in terms of intensity and frequency of the cyclones. So we can see whenever the cyclone comes, the most affected part will be of the eastern side, like Orissa, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, right? And hardly this Maharashtra part or Karnataka part will be affected by cyclones. And tornadoes, this is a dark funnel like thing. It reaches from the sky to the ground. So remember this thing. Effective safety measures. A cyclone forecast and warning service. Rapid communication of warnings to the government agencies, the ports, fishermen, ships, and to the general public. Construction of cyclone shelters in the cyclone prone areas and administrative arrangements for moving people fast to safer places. So these are the safety measures which we have to take. We have learned that all storms are low pressure systems. Wind speed plays an important role in the formation of storms. So it is therefore important to measure the wind speed. The instrument that measures the wind speed is called an anemometer. So remember, wind speed, anemometer. An anemometer for measuring the speed of wind. So we can observe one thing, that all this thing happens due to low pressure system, right? The cyclone, tornado, or storms, all these things happen due to low pressure system. Anemometer. So this is the anemometer. Action on the part of the people. We should not ignore the warnings issued by the meteorological department. through TV, radio or newspapers. We should make necessary arrangements to shift the essential household goods, domestic animals and vehicles, etc. to safer places. Avoid driving on roads through standing water as floods may have damaged the roads, and keep ready the phone numbers of all emergency services like police, fire brigade and medical centers. Some other precautions if you are staying in a cyclone hit area that are do not drink water that could be contaminated. Always store drinking water for emergencies. Do not touch wet switches and fallen power lines. Do not go out just for the sake of fun. Do not pressurize the rescue force by making undue demands. Cooperate and help your neighbors and friends. So these are the things which we have to remember during cyclone period. Advanced technology has helped. These days we are better protected. In the early part of the last century, coastal residents may have had less than a day to prepare or evacuate their homes from an oncoming cyclone. The world today is very different. Thanks to satellites and radars, a cyclone alert or cyclone watch is issued 48 hours in advance of an expected storm, and a cyclone warning is issued 24 hours in advance. The message is broadcast every hour or half hour when a cyclone is nearer the coast. Several national and international organizations cooperate to monitor the cyclone related disasters. Due to the advancement in technology, we have satellites and radars which gives cyclone alert before 48 hours in advance, due to which we can alert the people who are living at the coastal area and save much of the properties and also the lives. So the key words which we just saw, they are anemometer, cyclone, hurricane, lightning, low pressure, monsoon winds pressure, thunderstorms, tornado, typhoon, wind flow pattern, right? What we learnt: air around us exerts pressure. Air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Warm air rises up, whereas comparatively cooler air tends to sink towards the Earth's surface because cooler air is heavier. As warm air rises, air pressure at that place is reduced and the cooler air moves to that place. The moving air is called wind. Uneven heating on the earth is the main cause of wind movements. Winds carrying water vapor bring rain. High speed winds and air pressure difference can cause cyclones. It has become easier to monitor cyclones with the help of advanced technology like satellites and radars. Self-help is the best help. Therefore, it is better to plan in advance and be ready with defense against any approaching cyclone. Difference of temperature between two regions. These are the things which are given on in book. Sets convection in air, warm air rises, creating a low pressure area. Cool air converges to the low pressure area. Warm air rises, cools, and the water vapor condenses to form clouds. So these are all things we saw. And the bigger water drops in the cloud fall to the ground as rain, hail or snow. We know, right? The rain, hail or snow, which we have already read. Falling water droplets and rising air move vigorously to produce thunderstorm. So the friction between falling air droplets and rising air which move vigorously, it produces thunderstorm. Under certain weather condition, storms may develop into cyclones. A bolt of lightning travels at a speed of more than 4 lakh km per hour. It can heat the air around it to a temperature which is more than 4 times the temperature of the surface of the sun. That is what makes lightning so dangerous. So surface of the temperature of the surface of the sun is very high. So the 4 times of it means it is very high. We are going to study about in future videos, right? So this is the end of the chapter. Thank you.